Might help if I turn on the microphone. Yes, there we go. Hello, hello. Welcome to today's show. New setup, new mic placement. Hopefully these will all remain okay. All right, well, friends, welcome to this week's Warble, the weekly Wednesday Warble. Let's turn this slightly, ever so slightly. I don't know if we can do that. This week's theme. The theme last week was fools. So on my trawl through songs about fools, I of course found songs about people being clever, and some of them were like, is the fool? A lot of the songs could have gone in either one, because it's like, well, here's a song about people being fooled by the people in the song who are being clever. Anyway, I've got a set here. We've got 10 songs. About half and half covers and originals, and with varying degrees of relation to the theme. Come on, G. Come on, you can do it. So I'm going to get started with one of mine, and I should just start talking, because a lot of old stories, a lot of myths and old stories really extol the virtue of being clever. So this is a story of Gilgamesh and how he uses his wits to outwit an invading force. And I basically ended up I had wanted to write a song about a siege for various reasons, and I wanted to write a song about an incident in which the besieged who come out on top. And so I sort of stumbled across this story, and I ended up writing a union ballad. So we have Aga of Kish sends a letter to the city of Uruk demanding a contingent of slave labor to help them dig these ditches, for there are wells to be dug, there are ropes to be pulled. And so it goes. And the city of Uruk was going to send the workers, and Gilgamesh was like, well, wait now, maybe we should ask the boys how they feel about it. And the guys were like, yeah, not so much actually, not really interested in being sent away to be part of a slave labor force. So they were outnumbered, and they knew that the response would be violent. So they were like, okay, well, what are we going to do? We need to trick them into thinking that their massive force can't withstand our massive force, even though we're just a small town full of laborers. So they dress everyone up as soldiers, they give them maces, they stand on the ramparts and try and make it look like there's more of them than there are. And then finally they send a fella out to be captured and tortured and to stick to the story. And the story is that city of Uruk holds an overwhelming force, and they're absolutely dedicated to their magnificent leader Gilgamesh, and that you'd have to be out of your mind to try and attack those folks. And so then once they planted that seed of doubt, they open the gates and come rushing out, and being clever wins the day. So I figured we'd start with that one, because it is probably the most fitting with the theme of today's set. Uric, that one is called. And this next one is well, I do it fairly often, but it's a traditional song, and it's a traditional song that I quite like because things work out quite well for our heroine, and they work out quite well for our heroine and not quite badly because she's a clever girl. Stick with traditional songs for a bit, well, for one more song at least, and we'll come back to that later. A lot of traditional songs, I think, are extol the virtues of being clever. So this one, it doesn't really. This is the Skyboat song, and I've sort of recently started doing this one, and it's not really explicit in the lyrics, but the story behind this is Charlie Stewart trying to escape after the failed Jacobite rebellion, and he escapes with the help of a Scottish woman named Flora MacDonald. I think MacDonald sounds right. Who dressed him as a serving maid and snuck him onto a boat. So that's our clever turn in this song, even though that isn't really explicit. But there we go. But it fits the theme. This song would not exist if a bit of cleverness had not gone down. We're going to again the theme, the fine line between foolish and clever, really. We're going to stick to this war theme, and this next one, this is one of mine, and it's really about being too clever for our own good, really. I feel like deciding on this theme is going to encouraged me to write a lot more songs on, like, this Greek tragedy themes. Anyway, this is the Manhattan Project. What have we done? I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. Sand turned to glass, glass turned to shards. Death, the destroyer of worlds. Tucked in the desert where no one can question us. Clandestine dealings with long-reaching consequence. 100,000 cogs in the dark. Twice that number taken at once. What have we done? I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. Cities erased, people in ruin, lives not considered. Fear not, unfounded, but fear nonetheless. Let us justification grew ever more dubious. There are better ways to endure. Billions of dollars in human ingenuity surely could have been put to better use. This was the best that our best minds could conjure. What have we done? I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. Death, the destroyer of worlds. There we go. And we're going to do a much more upbeat version of "Too Clever for Your Own Good" in a song about someone maybe trying to try out a new thing and it not being a good thing to try. But this is all about enemies, and it's about well, I think maybe it will be apparent. It's about someone trying to drive themselves forward with a good rivalry, and then kind of discovering that that's maybe not so helpful. The hero of the story needs a proper antagonist, competent and self-assured. Bad blood, shared traits to keep you moving forward. I might have hit a wall, arrived at a plateau, feeling stuck in place, going nowhere, stagnation. Time to grab the bull firmly by the horns, pull myself out of this rut. Find what's missing to keep me moving forward. give myself momentum, 'cause it's all about enemies, worthy adversaries, some contemporary foe to keep me on my toes. It's all about enemies. So I thought turning a friend against me was the thing to do. Get some public bickering, drum up some views. It didn't really work out like that. They were just angry and confused. So was everyone else. I just felt bad. What about that run? I pushed a bit too far. Didn't gain a thing, it all ended in self-loathing. Time to turn instead to healthier pursuits. Encourage competition. Cultivating a genuine nemesis. 'Cause you need the right enemies, worthy adversaries, some contemporary foe to keep you on your toes. It's all about enemies. So I went out into the world and found myself an honest boy. But it hadn't lasted long when the antipathy got hold. You know, it didn't drive me to work harder at all. It was exhausting. And I just wished we could be pals. I couldn't do my part, I couldn't hold my end, couldn't help but cheer them on. Forgave, forgot, took the inspiration. 'Cause it's all about enemies. But I don't have the energy to hold on to a grudge. I'd rather think of love. It's all about enemies. There. And now we're going to go to someone who, well, it's told from the point of view of someone who maybe isn't particularly clever. I had considered this song last week for the Fools because of the person who tells the story, but I think he's actually telling the story of someone who's quite clever. Wins by being clever. And of course, you can't even know if the guy realized he was being clever, if it was just a coincidence. I know that my darling's name is all around the barony. Her features, they were famous, and if we loved her all, who was there to blame us? But wasn't she the pride of Petromore? But her beauty made us all so shy that a living boy could look her in the eye. Boys, oh boys, here's the reason why we're mourning for the pride of Petromore. Eileen, oh, my heart is going grey ever since the day you wandered far away. Eileen, oh, there's good fish in the sea, but there's none of much the pride of Petromore. Friday at the fair in Ballintobber, Eileen met my brother Count Jobber. I'd like to set my hands upon the robber, for he stole away the pride of Petromore. He never seemed to see the girl at all, even while she ogled him from underneath the shawl. Looking big and masterful, while she was looking small, most provoking for the pride of Petromore. Eileen, oh, my heart is going grey ever since the day you wandered far away. Eileen, oh, there's good fish in the sea, there's none of them match the pride of Petromore. So it went as it has from the beginning. Eileen set her heart upon the winning. Big McGraw contentedly sat grinning, being courted by the pride of Petromore. Says he, and no girl could knock you into fits. At that, Eileen nearly lost her wits. The upshot of the ruction is that now the robber sits with his arm around the pride of Petromore. Eileen, oh, my heart is going grey ever since the day you wandered far away. Eileen, oh, there's good fish in the sea, but there's none of them match the pride of Petromore. stick with the theme of courting. Yes. Oh. Just close what I wanted. Whenever I do a theme, I can always see if John Prine has a song on the theme, and Mr. John Prine pretty much always does. And I don't know if this isn't so much clever as maybe just offering good advice, which might be another episode down the road. But I still figure we can get this one in here. This one is more wisdom than clever, which is not necessarily what I was going for, but it's adjacent. Level-headed dancer on the road to alcohol, and I was just a soldier on my way to Montreal. Well, she pressed her chest against me about the time that the jukebox broke. Yeah, she gave me a peck on the back of my neck, and these are the words she spoke: blow up your TV, go to the country, move to the country, build you a home. I was gonna sing it right, and then I looked at the words. Blow up your TV, throw away your paper, move to the country, build you a home, plant a little garden, eat a lot of peaches, try to find Jesus on your own. Well, I sat there at the table and I acted real naive, 'cause I knew that topless lady had something up her sleeve. Well, she danced around the bar room and she did the hoochie coo. Yeah, she sang her song all night long, telling me what to do. Blow up your TV, throw away your paper, move to the country, build a little home, plant a little garden, eat a lot of peaches, try to find Jesus on your own. Young and hungry and about to leave that place. Just as I was leaving, well, she looked me in the face. I said, you must know the answer. She said, no, but I'll give it a try. And to this very day we've been living our way, and here's the reason why. We blew up our TV, threw away our paper, went to the country, built us a home, had a lot of children, we fed them on peaches. They all found Jesus on their own. Here you go, Spanish pipe dream. Yes, I started filling up. We're gonna do, like, I think, advice. Not next week, but in a few weeks we might do a theme on. Usually one theme leads to another. As I'm finding the songs for one week, I start other weeks. This one is the cleverness comes with this person using what's the word for it? Loopholes, maybe. This is the spelling bee, and there's a bunch of things you can do to kind of stall during a spelling bee. You can ask them to give you a definition of the word. You can ask them to use it in a sentence, like to give yourself time to come up with the right answer. So that's where our protagonist is being clever in this song. Are there two P's in apprehensive? I dreamt last night I couldn't spell a word, or was it dreamed? I practiced recognizing uses where we opt for C's and S's and Z's in our language. I drilled those words into my senses. The pronouncer gives the word and I ask for a repronunciation. Wouldn't want to mix it up with some related word. Don't want to end up disappointed. Is that two P's, two S's, neither or both? In my performance, I spell the word with bold intention. Can I get a definition? Can you use it in a sentence? I'll take this time to ponder if that root is Greek or Latin. Is it A, I, E, or U? Vowels are mystifying. C's and K's and Q's. It's all so confusing. But I worked hard and I before E. And believe in me, myself, and I don't want to leave the competition early. Well, when I finish spelling just one, and in this finish I open my eyes to the judge's consternation. Some say yea, but most say nay. I watch my rival spell the word in their head. I raise my hand, make my objection to the arbiter. I plead my case, or not or, though they don't arbit. Aggressively I make my argument. Those double letters get me. After much deliberation and an Oxford English consultation, the judges deem it spelled correctly. I avoid elimination. Can I get a definition? Can you use it in a sentence? I'll take this time to ponder if that root is Greek or Latin. Is it A, I, E, or U? Vowels are mystifying. C's and K's and Q's. It's all so confusing. But I worked hard and I before E. And believe in me, myself, and I don't want to leave the competition early. There we go. Spelling. And now we're down to our last two songs, and I'm going to do one of mine, and this is off my Nature EP, and this one's in here because it mentions the sort of the cleverness required in some ways for beetle kind to have taken over the earth in the way that they have. It mentions other reasons as well, but if you hold out to the end, we do mention some of being clever. And that's all we need. That's all it takes to fit into the weekly theme of the weekly Wednesday Warble. Crawling, clawing up through the soil, rolling nutrient-filled dung. Industrious father with a larvae to tend to, dependable partner is he, with a strength to rival Hercules. Leaping, jumping, clicking and snapping, hiding in decaying bark. Play possum, play dress up predators to fend off past winter in hibernation, past genes through the millennia. Body armor glittering, candy-coated rainbow hues, iridescent jewels, helicopters to safety. Savvy, canny, and I for asylum, legacy entrusted with her. Sagacious mother, a birthright to secure, not above subterfuge she, to ensure perpetuity. Coleoptera, many and varied, is an inordinate fondness, spread you so far and wide. Coleoptera, ever resilient, whose unstoppable progress let you march far and wide. There you go, inordinate fondness. And for our last number, I'm choosing something that, well, partially it's just a very clever song, if you ask me, but it's about someone who finds someone who thinks outside of the box and comes up with a solution to their unemployment problem that a less clever person would not have come up with. This is from Captain Tractor, a Canadian classic. Well, I used to be a farmer and I made a living fine. I had a little stretch of land upon the CP line. The times were combined, though I tried, the money wasn't there. And the bankers came and took my land and told me fair is fair. I looked for every kind of job, the answer always no. Are you now? They always laugh, we just let 20 go. The government, they promised me a measly little sum, but I've got too much pride to end up just another bum. Then I thought, who gives a damn if all the jobs are gone? I'm gonna become a pirate on the river Saskatchewan. And it's a heave-ho, coming down the plains, stealing wheat and barley and all the other grains. And it's a ho, hey, farmers, bar your door when you see the Jolly Roger on Regina's mighty shores. Well, you think the local farmers would know that I'm at large, but just the other day I found an unprotected barge. I snuck up right behind them, and they were none the wiser. I rammed the ship and sank and stole the fertilizer. Bridge outside of Moose Jaw spans the mighty river. Farmers cross with so much fear their stomachs are a quiver. They know the Captain Tractor is hiding in the bay. I'll jump the bridge and knock 'em cold and sail off with their hay. 'Cause it's a heave-ho, coming down the plains, stealing wheat and barley and all the other grains. And it's a ho, hey, farmers, bar your doors when you see the Jolly Roger on Regina's mighty shores. Well, Mountie Bobby chased me, he was always at my throat. He followed on the shoreline since he didn't own a boat. But the cutbacks were coming and the Mountie lost his job. Now he's sailing with us and we call him Salty Bob. Swinging the sword and skull and bones are pleasant company. I never pay my income tax and screw the GST. Sailing down to Saskatoon, the terror of the sea. If you wanna breach the co-op, boys, you gotta get by me. And it's a heave-ho, coming down the plains, stealing wheat and barley and all the other grains. And it's a ho, hey, farmers, bar your doors when you see the Jolly Roger on Regina's mighty shores. Well, pirate life's appealing, but you don't just find it here. I hear in North Alberta there's a band of buccaneers. They roam the Athabasca from Smith to Fort McKay, and you're gonna lose Roger on Regina's mighty shores. It's a ho, hey, coming down the plains, stealing wheat, barley, and all the other grains. And it's a ho, hey, farmers bar your doors when you see the Jolly Roger on Regina's mighty shores. When you see the Jolly Roger on Regina's mighty shores. There we go. And there we go, friends. So that is the warble for today. I don't have my notebook here. I may not have decided what next week's theme is. I have a few on the go. So I will keep your eyes out for the community post where I will be putting that up. I think next week we'll be back to the later time. I think I've almost settled on that as the permanent time, but not completely. To be announced. But we will be back here. We will be back here next Wednesday with another warble. And I thank you all for joining me here today. We'll see you next time. Have a great week.